Alright, it's time to talk about my top 10 geek films of 2018. I am Jacob and this is Apocalypse Movies. And just so you know, basically what qualifies as a geek film for us is anything comic book, superhero, video game, kind of in Star Wars type movies like a Star Trek would qualify. Basically, there's no strict policy for what it is, but we here at Apocalypse know what we mean by saying geek movie, and it kind of includes all of those things. So a couple honorable mentions I would say are Venom and Tomb Raider. I really enjoyed both of those films, but not quite enough to get into my top 10. Tomb Raider was actually probably one of the best video game movies ever made, to be honest, and that's not saying much, but it is. And I actually really enjoyed Venom. Definitely one of the comic book movies with the big major flaws in it, but I did really enjoy Venom. Alright, even though it's number 10, I'm still just overall surprised that this movie is on my list above Tomb Raider and Venom, and that is Bumblebee. Bumblebee probably should be higher, but obviously I have some bias towards some other things in here. Bumblebee is one of the best movies of the year in my opinion, and definitely one of the best geek movies made this year. And I just thoroughly enjoyed this film. I think it's actually a really great movie, regardless of genre, and Haley Steinfeld is fantastic. That's my girl. I love Haley Steinfeld. Just wow, Bumblebee is awesome, especially the action in the opening scene. My number 9 geek movie of 2018 is Ready Player One. For those of you who are saying, wait, Ready Player One's not a geek movie, or it's not a comic book movie, or it's not a video game movie, even though it's not based on a video game, this movie is totally a geek movie. It hits on all cylinders of being a geek film, in my opinion and in our opinion. This movie is amazing. It's like a buffet for geek movies, and it just has all these different things, all these references, the action, the way the characters are designed for the world that they go into. This movie is incredible. Steven Spielberg still has it, still arguably the best director working. Freaking loved Ready Player One. My number 8 movie on my geek film list is Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. I really liked this movie. I was super high on it when I first saw it, but after letting some time pass, I started to think about some of the flaws, but regardless, I really enjoyed this film, and especially Johnny Depp's performance as Grindelwald. I just am immersed in this Harry Potter world lately. I just recently became a fan of the whole universe, so I'm super excited about anything the wizarding world of Harry Potter right now, and Crimes of Grindelwald really added to that. I did want to see some more wizard battles and stuff like that. I'm hoping we get more of that continuing in the franchise, but overall I really enjoyed the Crimes of Grindelwald. My number 7 geek movie of the year is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I can't believe it's this low, to be honest. The first Ant-Man is dear to my heart, one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. I had high hopes for this movie, and it didn't quite meet those expectations, but it was still overall very enjoyable, very fun, very good character focus and character development. Evangeline Lilly's The Wasp is freaking awesome, one of the best characters in the MCU, and just Ant-Man and the Wasp is a good movie, and I had a great time with it. I love Paul Rudd as Ant-Man and his relationship with his daughter, and that continued in this movie. It should be higher on my list, but there's other movies that came out. Ant-Man and the Wasp on this spot. My number 6 geek movie of 2018 is Deadpool 2. Kind of like Ant-Man and the Wasp, the first movie, dear to my heart. I had high expectations for Deadpool 2. Didn't quite meet them, but I still really enjoyed Deadpool 2. It almost made my top 10 movies overall this year. I just watched it again recently. Very enjoyable. In my opinion, a worthy follow-up to the first one. But there definitely are problems with this movie. It's not as original or unique or special as the first one, but it does continue a strong story for Deadpool, and I just think overall it's very enjoyable. And for me, there was a few special effects that were really off, and that does count as poor quality in my opinion in overall film. But other than that, there was just certain things that I didn't love in this movie, but overall, love the total package. Deadpool 2 in my number 6 spot. Very much enjoy this film. My number 5 geek movie of 2018, and this is where we're getting to the ones I really enjoyed, and that is Aquaman. I freaking love Aquaman. One reason, because just such an enjoyable film. Another reason is because I'm rooting for DC properties to succeed, and this movie is a representation of that. I want there to be positive vibes for DC, for Marvel, for Fox Marvel, for all comic book products being made, and I'm just so glad that this movie, like Wonder Woman, got the DCEU and just DC properties on the right track, and I'm hoping the Joker can do it again for 2019, but man, Aquaman, freaking love this movie. Action is incredible. Jason Momoa is the bomb. Love it. My number 4 geek movie of 2018, shouldn't be a surprise that it's on the list, is Solo, A Star Wars Story. I love this movie. It's not nowhere near the original trilogy or nowhere near like The Force Awakens for me, but it's really a good movie, and I think people just need to set aside their expectations and the fact that it's not Harrison Ford and just enjoy this movie for what it is, a Star Wars adventure film. And as that, it's really good. And me being a Star Wars fan and just some of the things that are in this movie, I love Solo, and it deserves this number 4 spot on my list. My number 3 movie is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for my Geek Films of 2018. I did not think this movie had a chance to be on this list at the beginning of the year. But then I started to hear the buzz, and I was like, it cannot be that good. And oh my goodness, it's that good. Maybe even better than what I was hearing. Said it a million times, but just the way they focus on these characters and the family and the character development and the storytelling really make this movie something truly, truly special, as well as the action and the comic book elements. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse deserves this number 3 spot on my list. My number 2 movie is Black Panther on my Geek Movies of 2018. I freaking love Black Panther. It is easy to forget how great this movie is and how enjoyable it is because it came out in February. Feels like so long ago, but Black Panther is awesome. It is so awesome. I love the tone and the vibe and Michael B. Jordan's performance and just Chadwick Boseman's performance and the overall cast and going into that world of Wakanda. It is truly, truly a special movie, and I love Ryan Coogler's stamp on it, how he made Oakland a part of the movie, somewhere where he's from. What more can I say about Black Panther? It is my number 2 geek movie of 2018, and it deserves that spot. And yet again, I am talking about Avengers Infinity War. It is my number 1 geek movie of the year. It is my number 1 movie of the year. It is Apocalypse Movie's number 1 consensus movie of the year, Avengers Infinity War. I can talk for hours about this film, but I'm just going to say a few things. The way they fit all of these characters into this movie and made not one moment drag for me, and just how they elevated characters that I already loved, like Thor, like Iron Man, and just introduced this villain for a large role in Thanos and just made him one of the best comic book movie villains of all time, only starring in one film. I know we've seen him before, but this is really his full-time debut. He's incredible. Yes, Avengers Infinity War, fantastic. My number 1 geek movie of 2018. Alright, well that is my rankings of the top 10 geek movies of 2018. Let me know what you thought of my list. I'm really curious. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Any surprises on there? I really want to hear your thoughts. Again, I am Jacob for Apocalypse Movies. Thank you for watching this video.